What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Into the Squared Circle podcast. Yes, I'm your host, GBs, and welcome, man. How's everybody doing? Here we are, man, cruising through another week. It's another episode, and hey, you keeping warm out there? At least here in the Midwest and Chicagoland area. Ugh, man, it's cold out there. Ugh, like negative 20 and then 10 inches of snow. But hey, you know what? It's all good. That's outside. Here inside Into the Square Circle podcast. You like what I did there? Yeah, we talk about all things pro wrestling. And so we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. So I'm going to have one highlight from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, TNA Wrestling. We got Collision. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. So we're going to do one piece of business for each show. And then we will kick off the show, talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle of the Valley. It went down this past Saturday. And we'll talk about TNA Wrestling, their first show in almost 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years under the TNA gimmick. Hard to Kill went down this past Saturday in Las Vegas. So we're going to do something different here on the show. But before I continue on, follow me on my social media platforms of Facebook, X, Instagram, and if you're watching on YouTube, damn it, hit the subscribe if you're enjoying the content like always. Join the conversation. Again, I'm a fan. You're a fan. Come on, man. Join the conversation. Leave it in the comment section. What shows you enjoyed? Is anything that stood out to you this week? Great, positive. And then, as I mentioned, it's a podcast, right? Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Deezer. Not D's Nuts, Deezer. I guess that's a platform, right? It's available. So if you have that, you got that going. And you can listen to it online as well. So we got that going on. And stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned. I'm going to have my own Patreon page, right? Patreon, where you get your bonus content. And when I'm talking about bonus content, you're going to pay what? $2.99 a month, right? But there's a caveat here, folks. There's something in for you, right? If you're watching on YouTube, you're listening on the podcast, stay tuned. It's coming, right? $2.99 a month, and you are the executive producer, okay? Not a lot of wrestling podcasts will allow the listeners or viewers become the executive producer. So keep that in mind, folks. You're the executive producer on all the bonus content, right? So your name will be on the credits towards the end of the YouTube video. Your name will be featured in the credits on the podcast, right? So you're the executive producer. You're sitting in the director's chair, right? You control the bonus content. Again, I'm a fan. You're a fan. If you want to talk about Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, we'll talk a brief on the podcast, right? But we can get in details and we just talk as long as we want on the bonus content. If you want to do a review on a old school pay-per-view on the Peacock Network, Slumberland, SummerSlam 95. You want to watch NWA Jim Crockett stuff, we can do that stuff on the bonus content. We can do a review. We can do movies review like the Iron Claw. I haven't watched it yet, but we can do a review on the Iron Claw on the bonus content, right? We can do a lot of stuff with it. Was that Ready to Rumble in the 90s from David Arquette back in the WCW days? You can watch that again. I haven't watched that in a while. We can do a lot of stuff, man. We can have prizes, right? I have a bunch of extra action figures I can give away, so we can have fun, man. It's all part of the Patreon. You just subscribe, man, if you want extra stuff, as course. And as always, I will put the link down below if you're watching on YouTube in the description box. If you're listening on the podcast, I'll put it in the description box as well for the podcast. All right. All right, good deal. So hope everybody's doing great, man. He had a great week, a great weekend, and here we are kicking off the brand spanking new week as we're cruising through the month of January of 2024. So here we go, folks. Enough of me talking. Let's do something a little different, right? Let's do something a little bit of different here, folks. So if you're watching on YouTube and if you're listening on the podcast, I encourage you to watch my stuff on YouTube as well, because you get to see my beautiful face, right? My Vanna White, my Wheel of Fortune face, right? Plastic surgery and all. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a timer. Okay, I like to challenge myself sometimes. I'm going to put a timer, right? Timer on the clock. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I'm going to break down New Japan Pro Wrestling, Battle of the Valley, that went down this past Saturday, and TNA Wrestling Hard to Kill. Now you're going to ask me, G, do you watch all the wrestling on Saturday? There was a lot of wrestling on Saturday. No, I got to say I watched zero wrestling Saturday. I was watching football. All right, I'm a big football fan, so I was watching football. But I did watch AEW Collision and Battle of the Belts. If I have time, I'll get a chance to watch TNA Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling. But there was a lot of good stuff. But before I get to there, okay, let's talk about some stuff that went down this past weekend. I don't have audio. Well, actually, I lied. I do have audio clip. So TNA Wrestling, right? We had Dana Brooke, formerly known as Dana Brooke. She showed up at TNA Hard to Kill in Las Vegas this past Saturday. But the shocking moment was Nick Nemeth, right? Former WWE superstar Dolph Ziggler showed up on TNA Hard to Kill pay-per-view at the very end of the show. We got a new champion, but we will talk about that, so I won't spoil it. But Nick Nemeth showed up at the very end and made a surprise appearance. So Nick Nemeth is making a worldwide tour, showing up in New Japan after David Finlay, showing up to Puerto Rico, and now he's coming to TNA after the new champion. A little spoiler hint right there for TNA. So Nick Nemeth had his first match this past Sunday, which will be featured on TNA television this coming week or two. So I'm looking forward to seeing him wrestling on TV. But yeah, man, that was one shocker. And then New Japan Pro Wrestling, Battle of the Valleys, we had a shocker as well. Jack Perry showed up at New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle of the Valley, attacking, blindsided attacked Shota Umino after his match on the show, which we would talk about. And Jack Perry showed up with a AEW contract in his pocket, took it out, ripped it, and there we go. And he had a armband that says scapegoat on his arm, meaning that I forgot what the proper term for scapegoat is. But you know what? Jack Perry showed up and it surprised a lot of people. He's not on the happy list for a lot of people, especially in AEW. So here he is in New Japan with a clean slate, ripping up his AEW contract. What's that mean for his current AEW standing within the company? We don't know, right? We don't know as fans. We don't know, but be interesting, man. See how that will go in New Japan. So good luck to you, Jack Perry. All right. Also, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Mustafa Ali challenges Hiromu Takahashi, the Time Bomb. And yeah, man, it was surprise to me, but I guess I didn't expect him to go to New Japan, but I expected Mustafa Ali to do a world tour just like Nick Nemeth as well. So he's grinding out there, of course. I do have a video. I do have an audio from Mustafa Ali. So let me dial it in here really quick on this audio. And by the way, he's challenging Hiromu Takahashi in Chicago. So New Japan Pro Wrestling has announced that they're going to bring the Windy City Riot at the Wintrust Arena in Chicago, going down April 12th. Man, I'm going to try my grubby hand on those damn tickets, man. I'm pretty excited. So let me play the clip here, courtesy of New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is Mustafa Ali challenging.
I will have a match April 12th at the Windy City Riot. Thank you. Good night. And remember that in Ali, we trust.
So there we go, folks. Mustafa Ali laid out the challenge to Hiromu Takahashi at Windy City Riot right here in Chicago at the Wintrust Arena. I'm excited, man. I'm glad they're going to a bigger venue because they used to go to the Odeum in Villa Park, a small venue. It's legendary because ECW used to hold their shows back in the 90s. And Ring of Honor done many of their shows there, which I went to some of them. But it's good to see they're hitting the big arena. So I got to check out the tickets there, see what's available. So that's what's going on for that. Mustafa Ali challenging Hiromu Takahashi at Windy City Riot in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So we got that going on. And so let's dial in, folks. Let's dial in to see what's going on. in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So as I talk about, I'm going to do something different here. I'm going to do a time clock here. I'm going to challenge myself. 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes. 2 minutes on the clock. Here we go. I'm going to knock out New Japan Pro Wrestling, Battle of the Valleys, and TNA Wrestling. Hard to kill. Okay. We're going to challenge myself for 2 minutes. Can I do it? If you're watching on YouTube, let's see if I can knock it out. All the matches in 2 minutes. Podcast land, get ready. So here we go. We're going to put a timer on right now. We're going to dial in and let's see what we get right here, baby. So now we're going to get 2 minutes on the clock here. So let's dial in the 2 minutes. Are you ready? I'm ready. All right. Nice breather. Nice breather. So let's start the clock right now. Here we go. New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong as San Jose, California. There we go. So here we go. Strong Survivor match. Matt Vandergrift defeated Goldie by pinfall. Singles match determined for the number one contender to the Strong Openweight champion. Stephanie Van Quer defeated Viva Van. Jacob Fatu, Fred Foster, and Shota Umino defeated Team Filthy in the six-man tag match. Mascara Dorada and Voldado Jr. defeated Rocky Romero and Sombrano Jr. David Finley defeated TJP. The Gorillas of Destiny defeated Bullet Club War Dogs. Julia defeated Trish Adora to retain the Strong's Women's Champion. The Chosen Bros defeated Team DTMDK. Eddie Kingston defeated Gabe Kidd in a double countout. John Moxley defeated Shingo Tagachi, and Kushka Okada defeated Will Ospreay. All right, TNA Wrestling, Hard to Kill in Las Vegas, Nevada. Here we go. And we got Steve Macklin defeated Rich Swann. The System defeated Frankie Kazarian. Crazy Steve defeated Tommy Dreamer, with Joe Shaw defeated Alicia Edwards, and more for the Ultimate X. PCO defeated Dirty Dango. Rhino Jake Sumpter and PCO defeated Alpha Bravo. Oleg Pretius and Dirty Dango by pinfall. Decay defeated MK Ultra. Chris Sabin defeated El Hijo de Fakingo and Kushida by pinfall. Josh Alexander defeated Alex Hammerstone, ABC, and a bunch of other guys. Yeah, well, guess what? It was a fatal four-way match, and I can't find it defeated. Jordan Grace defeated Trinity, and Moose defeated Alex Shelley to become the new TNA World Champion. So Moose is your new TNA World Champion. Holy smokes, 10 seconds left. I need a breather, man. I need a breather. That's it, man. So there we go, folks. 2 minutes. I did the best I can. A lot of stumbling there, and you did it. I did it. Woo, doggy. So there we go, folks. TNA Wrestling Hard to Kill, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Battle of the Valleys. All right. So as I mentioned, Moose is your new TNA Wrestling. As I mentioned, Nick Nemeth came in, so he might challenge for Moose for the future champion here, folks. So we got that going down, and Okada defeated Ospreys. No champions here involved, so we're all good on that part as well. Okay, so let's talk about my top highlights, right? One highlight from Raw, NXT, AEW Dynamite, TNA Wrestling, SmackDown, Collision, Battle of the Belts. I got one highlight for each one of them. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. So here we go. No timer in this one, but I'll try to make this quick and fast. We'll bore the hell out of you. By the way, each highlight has an audio, okay? Each highlight has an audio. So as I'm about to dial it in here, folks. Yeah. Jeez, I sound like Irish here. Hey, Flex, how do you do? How do you do? We're almost to St. Patrick's Day, G. All right, here we go. So Monday Night Raw this past Monday had some decent stuff. I enjoyed Cody versus Shinsuke. Hell of a match. The Imperium, right? Was it Ludwig Kaiser? Yeah, not Giovanni Da Vinci. When Ludwig Kaiser went ape shit, right? He went ape shit, became a full-on heel. I enjoyed that moment. He's become a really badass, a dangerous guy to be around with. So I enjoyed that moment. But the moment was to kick off the Raw, right? The first segment of the show. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. That was my favorite moment. It felt real. It felt just personal. We could blur the lines between what's real and what's a work, right? Shoot or work. So I enjoy that segment a lot. I like it a lot. And as I'm about to dial in here, folks, on the audio courtesy of WWE.com. So let's see what CM Punk and Drew McIntyre had to say this past Monday on Raw. I believe the second Monday,
last week,
Raw of 2024. So let's dial in here and see what CM Punk and Drew McIntyre has to say to each other, courtesy of WWE.com. Here we go.
and if you were one of the people that saw that side of CM Punk, that says way more about you and where you are in your little dark places than it does about me, because I'm a real, real nice guy until it's time not to be.
Jack Perry. I don't know what you're talking about, but CM Punk, man, you know what? Drew McIntyre, he was saying some stuff to CM Punk like, nobody likes you, nobody backstage likes you. Your first run in WWE, you act like you're a locker room leader, and you think you're the shits. And CM Punk is just, I mean, his facial reaction, watching CM Punk just biting his lip, biting his tongue, smirking. And he's just taking it like a man. Damn it. He's taking all the brutal verbal beating from Drew McIntyre. Oh man, Tusty. And man, there's gonna be something here, folks. There's something here. Punk versus Drew McIntyre. I see something happening here. I don't know what, but these guys are willing to throw each other over the ropes at Royal Rumble. That's what's just coming right around the corner, man. That's right around the corner. The Royal Rumble. So I'll have my previews and prediction. I'll try to get it in soon because I know that's next week, a week away. So I'm excited for the Royal Rumble. Are you? So that was the top highlight for Raw. Just because it was so good. Just, I stopped everything, right? Put my remote down. I stopped focusing on other stuff. I'm just watching CM Punk talk. I'm watching Drew McIntyre talk. I was just locked in the two guys. And, this got nothing to do related to it, but the size difference, right? The size difference. Drew McIntyre looks like a damn colossal. He looks like Andre the Giant over Big John Studd. I mean, Drew McIntyre is legit a tall mother effer over CM Punk. I'm like, holy shit, he got some size. And Punk is like this, his head's tilted looking at Drew McIntyre. There's a size difference. But yeah, man, it was interesting, man. And that was the top highlight for WWE Raw. All right, so let's talk about NXT, shall we? All right, so NXT this past Tuesday on the USA Network. Man, wild ending to NXT. Oba Femi, right? OBA Fremi, Oba Femi, broke out his North American title contract, I guess you can call it. Dragon Lee won the title, right? He retained it, right? And Oba came out with the contract, cashed it in, came in the ring, kicked ass, and a little shocker from NXT. I'll play the audio courtesy of NXT or WWE.com. Here we go.
Monstrous Oba Femi. And just like that, in 1 week, he executes.
So there we go. So Oba Femi defeated Dragon Lee to become the new NXT World Champion. Wild. Absolute wild. And whoever thought he would come out and cash it in and become the new NXT champion? Not me, not this guy. But holy smokes, congrats to Oba for winning the new NXT World Champion. And Dragon Lee, hell of a wrestler. What's going to happen with him? I mean, he's going to stick around NXT. Will he go head back up to main roster? We don't know yet, but as of right now, Oba's your new NXT champion. All right, good stuff. I love it. I like it a lot. All right, so let's talk about AEW Dynamite. Let's cruise into Wednesday here, folks. So as I'm about to dial in here really quick here, This highlight from AEW Dynamite was the main event of Dynamite, right? So it was Sting, Darby Allin, and I can't remember who else was. I'm having a brain farts. It was the main event. It was a multi-man match. I think Brian Cage, Lance Archer, I think those guys were the Mogul Embassy. Anyway, Team Sting won the match, right? Sting won his final match in the state of Florida, I think, right? Jacksonville, Florida. All right, so Tony Khan has announced, well, hey, man, who's your final opponents for your final match in March? It's 2 months away, man. We're getting close. Who's his opponents? And I thought about this, man. I thought about this moment, and I'm like, this is interesting. We can talk about it, right? Because we had a returning set of superstars. Let me dial in here, courtesy of AEW.com. So let's see. So, okay, let's go back a little bit.
Fans will be watching on pay-per-view, but I have one question. For your final match, who will your opponent be?
So we'll stop there. Okay, we'll stop there. Where I don't know if this is gonna be their opponents. If you know the entrance of that song, the Young Bucks, they returned on AEW television. They've been off for the past couple of weeks. They were pissed off on their heels. I don't know what's going on, but the past couple of times when we saw them, they were trashing the announcer desk. They were hitting the post with a chair, and they were just pissed off. Why they're pissed off? Why they went away for a couple of weeks? We don't know. All we know is they showed up on Dynamite this past Wednesday with a fresh look, right? They got a real mustache this time. They got a fresh look. They dressed like they're from Miami Vice. They came out and nobody said nothing, which was a little teaser. It was a little teaser that they could potentially be the opponents for Sting and Darby Allin at Revolution in March. So could they be the final opponents for Sting? Maybe. I don't know what to think about it. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know if I feel like the Young Bucks are the final opponents, and that's what Sting wants. That's what he wants, damn it. That's his final match. The whole pay-per-view is being built around Sting. So wherever the man's happy with, I guess he's happy with. But I don't know, man. I would prefer somebody else, but who? Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal? Excuse me. Maybe me. Shit, man. I don't know. Maybe. What do you guys think? Do you want to see the Young Bucks face Sting in the final match of his career? I don't know. I thought about it. Hey, you know what? Hell of it. That was the top highlight of Wednesday Night Dynamite. And that's something to think about, folks. That'd be interesting if Sting wants the Young Bucks. Again, whatever makes the man happy. Right? All right, so let's head on over to Thursday. TNA Wrestling has revealed the new world champion. So as we talked about, Moose is now your new champion who won the main event this past Saturday and Hard to Kill. But the new TNA champion was revealed. It was pretty sharp looking, courtesy of TNA Wrestling, Scott D'Amore. So as if you heard my previous shows, right? TNA's been unveiling new champion looks for each belt, right? Every division, women's division, X division, tag team division. But now here we are, the new world champion, the new design. So I'll play the clip courtesy of TNA Wrestling.com.
There's
Here we
some
go.
amazing athletes that bridge the gap from TNA Wrestling to Impact Wrestling. And now there's going to be a chance for amazing athletes to bridge the gap from Impact Wrestling back to TNA Wrestling. And someone who's been part of that entire experience is you, Alex Shelley. From Baby Bear, the first time we saw you, to a guy who's inspired a generation and changed this industry.
All right, so I won't play too much on it, but there you go. Scott D'Amore having a nice little presentation of the new world champion, right? Unveiled the new title. Looks pretty sharp. I like it with the TNA logo. And it was pretty neat, man. It's just surreal to find the TNA logos back on the market. It's back on the logo of the ring, back on, on Hard to Kill, right? The pay-per-view. They brought out the tunnel, but there's only one tunnel they brought out. But they brought out the legendary tunnel. They brought out the yellow ropes, gave it a fresh look. And the TNA logo's large in the ring, and that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty exciting. The next chapter for TNA Impact Wrestling. Yes, I love it. I love it a lot. All right. So let's move on over to Friday Night SmackDown on the Fox Network. And this past Friday, the top highlight was the main event of SmackDown. It was Randy Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles versus the Bloodline. And on top of the show, Paul Heyman had to fix what was started last week. So last Friday, let's backtrack to last Friday. Roman Reigns got involved in the main event of last Friday with the Bloodline. Nick Aldis didn't like it. He's like, you know what? Paul Heyman told Roman Reigns he's going to put his title on the line in a fatal four-way match against AJ, Randy, and LA Knight at the Royal Rumble. So after the show, Roman Reigns told Paul Heyman, I don't like this one bit. You better go fix it next Friday on SmackDown. So here we go. It's Friday Night SmackDown, and Paul Heyman kicks off the show. They're going to have like a Bloodline takeover. Nick Aldis, it ain't happening. So Roman Reigns set me out here to fix it. Damn it, I'm going to fix it. Nick Aldis came out. He's like, no, it's still happening. And yet better, your crew is going to be in the main event against Randy Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles. And the only people who was out in the Bloodline was Paul Heyman, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa. So Jimmy and Solo needs to find an opponent or another partner because Roman Reigns is not there, right? So you better find something, or it's going to be a 3-on-2 handicap for the main event. So throughout the whole night, Paul Heyman's been trying to recruit people, or at least for the night in the Bloodline, right? He tried to recruit Bobby Lashley, Carlito, and then all of them said, nah, ain't happening. So here we go. It's the main event time. Jimmy Uso was like, man, can we do it? Man, I'm a little nervous, man. I'm a little nervous. And Solo Sikoa was like, I'm not nervous. No. Paul Heyman was like, nah, we're not nervous. It's just going to be the 2 of you versus the 3 of them. So Randy Orton came out. And then he got brutally attacked at his entrance. And now it was a 2-on-2 tag team match. LA Knight and AJ Styles versus Solo and Jimmy in the match. So, I'll play the clip courtesy of WWE.com. So how the match ended.
This unscathed either. This could be disastrous for Roman Reigns and the Bloodline.
So you heard Kevin Patrick right there, courtesy of WWE.com. So it was 2-on-2, right? 2-on-2. Eventually, Randy Orton came back after being brutally attacked by the Bloodline, and that was 3-on-2. And Styles, Orton, AJ, they worked together like a team, and they destroyed the Bloodline. Man, is the Bloodline crumbling? Roman Reigns being overruled by Nick Aldis. Solo and Jimmy are out there by themselves. Man, they can't keep up. So I'm going to ask you, the listeners and viewers, are the Bloodline crumbling? Are we seeing the end of the Bloodline storyline? Could The Rock dethrone the Roman Reigns possibly at Elimination Chambers or WrestleMania? So is this the trickling point of the storyline where things are slowing down? We don't know. But we found it very interesting. It was an excellent main event match. And this highlight from SmackDown was the #1 top highlight for Friday Night SmackDown. All right, so we got that going on. And so what else we got here going on? We have AEW Collision and Battle of the Belts this past Saturday. So let's talk about that. And the main event of Collision was a FTR. Daniel Garcia faces the House of Black. And it was a hell of a match.
Yeah, Malachi Black wiped out Garcia. There's a curb stomp.
Curb stomp. It's over. 2, 3.
It is.
Losing this match, House of Black.
Yeah, man, it was a hell of a match, man. You know what? The fans enjoyed it. FTR, Daniel Garcia, nice little chemistry between all three men. Look, I'm a big fan of FTR, right? They have always been a great chemistry as a tag team. Teaming up with Daniel Garcia, phenomenal. I enjoyed it as a team. Of course, the House of Black ruled over the team, of course, to conclude the night. And it was a hell of a match. What else you can say about it? And I believe I can't remember if Adam Copeland got involved in this match or not, but towards the very end, where the House of Blacks were just going absolute ape shit over FTR and Garcia. But either way, man, the FTR chemistry with Garcia, I think they did a 3-way shatter machine, not big rig, the shatter machine, the finishing move where all three guys did at the same time. Oh my God, phenomenal. Hell of a main event match. And that was the top highlight of AEW Collision. All right, and we'll talk about Battle of the Belts, which was featured after Collision on Saturday night. And the top moment of Battle of the Belts was the street fight. A lot of people were saying, wow, it was an actual street fight. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, these guys were out in the parking lot, right? They put their opponents through Rhett Titus' rental car in the parking lot. Brick was thrown through a rental car. So there was street signs, and it felt like a legit street fight, right? They went into the concourse. They went to catering. These guys went over the damn place. But the top moment was where Sammy Guevara climbed up the Titantron, right? He climbed up the Titantron and did a swanton bomb. Just dial in the clip here, courtesy of AEW.com.
Powerhouse Hobbs just pulled. He pulled Ricky Starks out of the way.
And Sammy Guevara hit hard.
Powerhouse Hobbs may have just ended the career of Guevara and saved the world tag titles for Starks.
Yeah, man. So I watched the match, and why Sammy Guevara did an insane move like that? Climbed up the Titantron, did a swanton bomb, of course, landed on a crash pad, and nobody was there, and he got pinned. Oh my God, that's insane, dude. Why? Why would you do that? And then they built a platform. They built a platform. It was a couple feet high outside of the ring, where they did some of a summer slip spot where I'm not sure if it was Jericho or it was somebody, but somebody. I don't know, it was Big Bill did a choke slam or something, but they built a platform outside of the ring where they could push their opponent off onto the tables. So I guess they built a platform to do that stuff. And then Sammy Guevara doing a insane, crazy ass stunt from the Titantron onto the platform. So insane. But I guess you can make that top highlight for Battle of the Belts. So there we go, man. There we go. So hey, there you go, folks. One highlight from Raw, NXT, Dynamite, TNA, SmackDown, Collision, the Battle of the Belts. We got them all, man. We did it. We did it, baby. So here we go, man. Here we go. Kick off the new week, and I'm looking forward to see what's going down in pro wrestling this week. And that's it, man. As I mentioned, follow me on my social media platforms on Facebook, X, Instagram, and right here on YouTube. And join the conversation on podcast land like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and more. And as I mentioned, join me on Patreon. I'll put the link down below on YouTube and podcasts. $2.99 a month. You're the executive producer of the show. Your name will be on the credits, feature on the podcast, and you name the topic, you name the games, whatever you want. The bonus content is for you. All right. All right, my friends, until next time, stay warm out there, stay healthy, stay safe, and as always, happy wrestling. Bye-bye, everybody.